Welcome to Seat Time, everybody, the off-road show that brings you all the results, news, and online shenanigans that make being online a good time. We'd like to say thank you to Fly Racing for their support of Seat Time. Please go check them out at flyracing.com. Hello and welcome to Seat Time, everybody. Brian Pierce here. And on the couch with me is the wonderful Jordan Bailey. The good thing is that she brought her sexier than Brian face. Hey, it's not too hard, so we're glad that she's here with us this evening. Of course, Seat Time, presented to you by Fly Racing. Fine folks that love supporting us, and we love supporting those guys. Go check them out at flyracing.com, of course, as well. Big thanks to Kenda Tire for their support of Seat Time, and find out more about those guys at kendatire.com and Stillwell Performance, stillwellperformance.com. And unfortunately, I do not have a review for you guys yet of kind of how it went on the first ride of the 350 with the new Stillwell Performance, because unfortunately it's been raining a lot and I have been stupid busy. So it's unfortunate, but hey, we're going to get on that bike. We're going to have a good time one day, and we're going to let you guys know about it. So, of course, if you guys are watching live, you can jump in the chat room, tlk.io/seattime. That way you can help guide the show a little bit and see what's going on with all that stuff. I wanted a big shout out to Frank Mann. Frank Mann Jr. actually dropped a little bit of a donation through our website with PayPal. Obviously, that's just super, super thankful for that. So thank you. And for the others that have donated as well, we really appreciate that. And quickly, I just wanted to say sorry about last week to everybody. It does happen where your kids decide to do things you don't want them to do. And my son decided to drink tea tree oil. And we had to take him to the hospital just in case. Luckily, everything was fine. They didn't even have to do much. Honestly, he was a shithead while we were there. It was a fantastic time. I would have much rather been here on the couch talking with everybody. So to make up for it, we're just going to go straight into talking to Chris Bach. Obviously, we know that a lot of people chatted with him last week, and that's okay. We're going to find out what they talked about and maybe a little bit of extra. What do you think?
Absolutely.
I like it. So let's get going. Mr. Chris Bach, how is your evening going, kind sir?
It's going good, man. Thanks for having me on. Just driving home from Tuesday special.
Right on. And that's pretty normal for you, right? Like, I know we've been in touch a couple times about you coming on the show on Tuesdays, and so that's kind of like a regimented. Do you have like a Tuesday afternoon riding schedule?
Yeah, Tuesdays and Thursdays are like my main ride days, and I ride 4:45, 5 o'clock till about now. You know, it's starting to get dark. And
right.
Load up and head home.
Nice, and that's a good time just because the sun's getting down. It's not as hot, or it just works out that way wherever you're located.
It just works out that way. I got a buddy. We have a pretty cool little track about 10 minutes from the house, and I got a buddy that preps it, full prep Tuesdays and Thursdays, waters it, rips it, and it's just nice this time of day. People can come out and ride. We got a nice little group, maybe 10 guys that come out and ride, and track gets nice and rough and makes for a good time.
Wicked.
I wish I had a buddy like that.
Yeah, when was the last time you rode a prep track?
Probably like 2 or 3 years ago.
I know.
Riding moto.
It might be 2009. I can't even tell you the last time I rode a prep motocross track. But honestly, I don't really. I suck on a motocross track,
yeah.
So why would I need a prep motocross track, right? Why would I need that? So, I mean, congratulations on your win at the Tomahawk. Obviously, your first win, and it also broke Caleb Russell's GNCC winning streak. So, you've been asked it a bazillion times, I can only say, but what was that like?
I was having a discussion today with a former GNCC winner, Nate Canny, and
yep.
I've stayed good friends with Nate since he retired, and we were just kind of talking about that win, and like the first win, obviously it's a milestone for my career and for the team and all that. It's totally cool for sure. I've worked my whole life to get it, but in a way, Nate said something to me. He said the second one is always more gratifying. So I don't want to like downplay it, but it was cool and it's awesome, but it's just kind of like you just want to do it again to almost validate it for yourself, So,
right, that it wasn't a fluke or that it wasn't this, that, or the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it was me outside looking at you racing and having watched the webcast and all that stuff. Like, it was epic to watch, at the Tomahawk, that you were able to pull that off. And I did get a chance to listen a little bit to Pit Pass, and I also read, the Racer X article that you did. And it sounds like it was just one of those days where you were able to ride the way you always want to ride, where you mentally are doing everything correctly, but you're not having to pay attention. You're just in the flow, or I guess that's how you professionals might put it.
Yeah, you're actually exactly right. It was one of those days where everything came easy. I think I tipped over once, and other than that, I might have seriously made like 2 mistakes all day. It was just very, very natural feeling, and I was just running on muscle memory, which is kind of how it's supposed to be. It just doesn't always work out that way.
Right. Yeah. So, did you ever get a GNCC win, Jordan?
No, I didn't.
Did you ever get on the box?
No. Yeah, at Snowshoe one year.
Oh,
I think
that's a
I ended
tough
up
one,
second. But that was before like the girls got to get up on the podium and stuff. So it was just like I got a second. And that was cool.
Oh, they didn't
super
high five
awesome.
you up there
I was on
and
my
everything?
150, like Honda 150 there.
Oh, Honda.
No, that bike was freaking awesome.
I'm just kidding. Chris
But
Bach's
yeah.
on a Honda, and he just
So yeah,
kicked ass
no
on that
win,
thing.
but I won in Texas and it feels good, but it just makes you hungry for more.
Yeah,
It's like that was cool, but okay, let's do it again.
Yeah, and that's kind of to Chris's point. He's saying about trying to get that validation now for himself. It's because he's worked so hard, as he said, his entire life to get this win. And now that he's got it, it's like, hell yeah, that was awesome. Now I got to prove to myself that it was all so worth it. I can do it again.
Yeah.
That you can make it happen again. Well, we do have a GNCC coming up this weekend. We're going to have the Mountaineer Run. In that regard, obviously you said you just had that conversation with Nate Canny about, go validate it kind of a thing. But have you been prepping any different? I would imagine not. You're like same plan as usual, but maybe there have been changes. Maybe the track's different at Mountaineer Run. You're going to prepare for that different. Kind of take us through maybe what you and the team have talked about.
We've raced here before. Last race was new venue for everybody. This one we've been going to for a couple years now. So we know what to expect going in. It's going to be rocky and pretty technical and kind of a slow-paced race. And really the prep has not changed. Pretty much same business as usual, same travel plan as every other weekend, and same food plan, training plan, and just trying to stay mentally focused and kind of try to keep that mental edge and keep telling myself that I can go win another one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So with a new track like y'all had at the last one, I know after we race these tracks over and over again, you start memorizing them. I mean, they don't change them that much, really. Do you think having the new track was kind of a level playing field for everybody, as no one had more time on the track? I know they changed them a little bit, but for the most part, they're kind of the same year after year.
Great question.
Yeah, I do think it leveled the playing field a little bit. Just these tracks we've gone to for so many years, and they are different every year, and Barry and those guys, they do a great job of trying to find new trail or this or that, but the reality is pretty much any other GNCC, no matter where you are on the property, even at Snowshoe, no matter where you are on the trail, you have a general idea of where you're at or where this trail is going to lead, or you kind of have a direction that the trail is going in pretty early.
Yeah.
So it's kind of easy to even remember lines from the years past. You're going down a section, you're like, oh, I got passed over here. I made a good pass coming up, and you kind of are on the lookout for that. And I think with the new track, it kept the beginning of the race really slow. Nobody could really sprint out because no one really had those lines or that memorization. So everyone was learning at the same rate. And I think it kept everybody bunched up at the beginning of the race before everyone started spreading out, which was definitely an advantage for me starting in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching. Somehow I missed the GNCC like bike video update highlight reel when it kind of came out, and so I was rewatching it. I watched it today, and I was like, "Oh my gosh! Yep, there's Chris Bach, third turn. Yep, second to last." So I was like, "That's a lot of gumption to kick ass and get all the way to the front." We got a question in the chat room, actually from Eric Kudla. He's does a lot of repping out there on the West Coast. He wanted to know if you think that any of the racing that you did on the West Coast, because they had so much dust out there on some of the enduros that you did and such, were something that might have helped out there on the start, at the Tomahawk.
Well, I definitely want to say hey to Eric and thank him for the series he's putting on out west. He's involved with quite a bit of stuff, and I did a couple of his events, and they were both really fun. I wouldn't say I hate racing in the dust. I'm not going to lie. And I don't think anybody really enjoys it.
Yeah, nobody goes, yes, a dusty race.
But, honestly, I think doing those preseason races for me, I don't know if it helped me with, like, conditions or anything, but it allowed me to go into the season completely level-headed with myself. Normally if I don't do those preseason races in the past, you go into round one, and it's always it's always basically this pissing contest between all the top guys. You know, who's fast, who's not, who's healthy, who's not, and I kind of went in like I knew where I stood. I had some races under my belt. I knew my bike was solid. There was really no guessing going into round one, and I think that really helped me. And I do think doing those races out west helped for sure.
Very cool. And what events did you do? Did you do any? Was it the GXE events that he puts on, or was it one of the other events? Do you remember offhand?
Well, I hate to sound so uneducated, but I don't. I think the GXE thing. I think maybe that's like his promoting thing.
Yeah.
I did an AMA West Hare Scramble.
Okay.
And I did one of his checkpoint enduros, and they were both awesome. They were two of the best ones I've ever done on the West Coast for sure.
Very cool. Was the checkpoint was that a timekeeping enduro?
There's no way I would do a timekeeping enduro. I can't tell time.
I'm glad that you're honest. I could not do it anymore. Like I could do it at an A level. You know, I never got to the double A as a timekeeper. I had a double A when it went to the restart crap. But yeah, as I could never do that at that level again. Like, it's just too mental taxing, man. No way. So West Hare Scramble and the Western Enduro. That's so it's a good thing Eric's in the chat room telling us all this stuff. So that's what I'm talking about. So I wanted to ask though, since it's been about a week and a half, you know, since you got that first win, you've been on a couple of different shows, you've talked to a couple of different magazines, all that kinds of stuff. And I would imagine fans, family, friends, just everybody. So what question have you been asked the most that you probably have like the best just memorized answer to?
Probably the how does it feel question. You know, like, it's a first win, so it's a big thing, and obviously everyone wants to know, you know, how does it feel? And it's hard to put into words because winning the race is cool, but to me, winning the race is the least cool part about it. The cool part is like the self-reflection and just kind of that milestone in your personal life, and just the sacrifices, the ups and downs, and you know, and self-reflection being as simple as the weekend before I won, I got 7th place.
Right.
And in my opinion, it was a terrible weekend. I was super frustrated, and I rode really, really hard and rode my heart out to get 7th. And like, that was probably my lowest point so far of this season. And then turn around the next weekend, I'm on top of the box with my first ever win. It's just, stuff like that is kind of cool. You know, that's what makes it cool for me is, yeah, I won the race, but it's like that personal sense of achievement is what's cool.
Yeah. And it's got to be neat to have done it with a team that you've got some history with now. You know, for a while there, you were KTMs and kind of going to Yamahas, I think Betas for a little bit, kind of all over the board. You know, then doing stuff with KR4, and then finally, you know, getting on the Honda team. You guys the past couple of years could tell have put in a lot of work. You've put in a lot of work. They've put in a lot of work. I think you guys got full Honda backing now. So it's pretty neat to see not just what you've done, but what they've done as a team, especially with Johnny Campbell's support to create, you know, the you know, what you have.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it even a little bit more special, away from like the media side of it. You know, within our team is I don't know if I could have won a race without Johnny and without the team. And I'm not just saying that to be the team player guy or whatever. You know, like the work that those guys put in with me in the off season and dedicating this East Coast program to me. You know, we don't have another rider. It's all on my shoulders, and
right.
It's a lot of pressure, but Johnny makes it very manageable pressure, and he's there to help me, and to be able to do it with those guys. You know, we started from scratch together with the Honda GNCC program and the new bike for me and new racing for them. And every time that we've had a good result, it's been together, and every time we've failed, it's been together.
Right.
So to come back and win, and we had everybody there. You know, sometimes Johnny comes and Eric doesn't, and sometimes Eric comes and Johnny doesn't. And for last weekend or 2 weeks ago, we had Johnny was there, Eric's there, Cookie's there, Danielle, my girlfriend, was there, and it just made for a really, really kind of morale boosting day.
Bitchin'. Speaking of your girlfriend, you just ran a 5K with her, and I think you got like 5th overall or something ridiculous that you didn't even like train for it.
Well, we decided, like, I've had 2 complete knee reconstructions, so running is not exactly my forte, and I'm just not good at it. You think I'd be really good because, like, I'm tall and athletic, but I'm not. I'm terrible at running. I can ride a bicycle, but I can't run. And she just had hip surgery not too long ago, like a pretty major hip surgery. So we set this goal, since both of us, our bodies hate running, we decided, let's set this goal of running a 5K. And the goal was just sometime this summer would have been great, and maybe put in some effort to train over summer break and then do one in the fall. But basically, it rained all weekend, and I was going to do a local race in IXCR, and it rained, and I said, well, I'm not racing. Let's go do a 5K tomorrow instead.
Yes.
So we just did. We went there. We paid our $25. We ran a lap around the parking lot and went straight to the starting line.
We are warmed
Trained,
up.
ready. Let's go. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're good.
Did you have fun at least?
I had a blast. I felt great after the race, and
that's probably because
my
you were
original
actually
plan
warmed up at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, my original plan. We were going to run it together, and we made about 50 yards in, and I was like, this is a race. I'm out of here, and I took off.
That's like what Cooper does to me. I'm like,
Love
oh, it's
you,
going to
see
be
you at
so
the
much
finish.
fun. He's like, no, I'm winning. Goodbye.
Yeah, so I took off, and I was trying to catch people, and I ended up physically 5th, but I don't know how they do it, whatever. I got, 3rd or 4th or something overall, and I won my division. But we had a lot of fun, and I went back, and I finished a little bit ahead of her, so I went back and ran the rest with her, and we did. We had a good time. So I think on off weekends, if there's not dirt bike racing going on, we'll probably do some more for sure.
Very cool. We did have one question from a chat room on YouTube, actually, and it's from Rob Mitchell. He does a lot of filming for you guys, and obviously he does a lot of filming for like Jason Hooper recently with Full Gas and stuff like that. So it's cool to see him in the chat room checking stuff out. And I'm sure you've touched on this, but I know Chris is that Rob's asking it here, and we haven't. So let's go ahead and see what your answer is. Does your win give you some confidence that you can now beat Caleb Russell straight up? He says, I know a lot of guys are basically racing for second, or that it feels like they are, and how does that change things mentally?
It's definitely, I don't know how I can describe it. I don't want to sit here and be like, oh man, I'm the fastest man alive. I want to beat Caleb this weekend. But it kind of, it's a personal thing, like it validates all that work that I've been doing, and it validates all that testing time. And it proves that we can do it. And, I think I proved to a lot of guys that it can be done. Now, straight up, Caleb said we beat him straight up. Whether he had, I followed him all day. And in my opinion, his bike setup did not look very good. So, if he gets that figured out, he's going to be fast again. It's not like the guy's going to get slow. He is by far the fastest guy, and we're all, he's the benchmark. And
right.
I beat him once, so it kind of goes back to that. We need to do it again to validate it, but it's definitely proved he's human, and it can be done. It's just we need to have more days like we had, and the team needs to be 100% efficient, and I need to be 100% efficient, and see if we can do it again for sure.
Right. Man, I like that. He's human. It's good to think about. He's not a Terminator.
Yeah, good to know.
Fucking Skynet. It'll get us every time. So before we let you go, we did want to talk a little bit about essential oils. And the good thing is that I've got Jordan Bailey here, and she's a woman. So 1, that's just a good thing. 2, again, she's still better looking than me. That's also a good thing. And 3, she knows about essential oils. And so I was talking with Chris Bach earlier today a little bit about tea tree oil and how, we're talking about Liam and this, that, the other, and thanked him again for coming back on the show, even though last week sucked. And he's like, oh, tea tree oil, yeah, that stuff's awesome for your hair, like in shampoos. And I'm just like, really, Paul Mitchell? Really? It was very interesting. So I figure, hey, we could chat about this for a little bit. So, and that's when Jordan was like, wow, he must know about essential oils. So is this a thing? Do you have like a hair fetish? Like, where did this craftsmanship with essential oils come from?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about essential oils, I have to throw in a Lucas oil plug, right? Wouldn't that be like the classic thing to do?
Why, yes, it would.
Yeah, so my essential oils, I wash my hair with Lucas Oil Fully Synthetic. I forgot where it was. I don't know. I'm a sucker for people that like upsell me on things. So I was getting my hair cut somewhere, and I don't know, the lady is like upselling me on all this stuff. I don't put anything in my hair. I take a shower, and whatever it looks like when I'm done is how it looks. But this lady was upselling me like super hard on the shampoo and conditioner after I got my hair cut. And, you know, I really appreciated the effort she was putting into it. I didn't believe her pitch very much, but her effort was 100%. So
does that just mean that she was topless and that effort was what was amazing?
No, she was really selling it, man. Like full-on sales pitch about this shampoo and conditioner set. And I didn't really want it, but I figured she's probably on commission, and the effort she put in was worth like the $3 commission she'd probably get off of it.
Right.
You're such a nice person.
I bought it, and I tell you what, man, it comes in a green bottle, and I don't know if Paul Mitchell makes it or not, but it's tea tree shampoo. Use it, I guarantee you will have your wig blown back. The stuff like
well, we found the show title. You'll have your wig blown back.
I'm just gonna start like emailing you with my sales pitches, and you're just gonna have to buy things from me. You just admitted that you're a sucker for it. So.
Blocked. I love it.
If you can, my mom's got a pretty good story. This guy came to our door like, I don't know, 2 years ago, selling me this cleaner, like spray, like Simple Green cleaner or something.
Yeah.
And whatever, you know, it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 100 degrees. It's in the summertime. He's got a pretty beat up car, and he's wearing a full blown suit. And he goes through this full sales pitch on my front porch, and I'm like, oh, come on. He cleans my windows on the house. He cleans like this concrete thing. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'll take it for sure. You know, like, it's the end of the day. I get it. You're tired. You don't want to be here. I don't want to listen to you. But you're still putting in 100% effort. So I bought it, and I was committed. I already told him I'd buy it, and then he, like, draws up the receipt and stuff. It was like $50 for a 20-ounce spray bottle of cleaner. And the stuff is absolutely terrible. The stuff he demoed me was not the stuff he sold me. So I gave it to my mom, and she still refuses to use it. Whatever.
That's the bottle of shame, Chris. That's when you gave in. That's when you gave in at life.
I know. Oh, well. Live and learn. But I don't learn. That's the problem.
You still do it.
That's okay.
I never buy people stuff. I'm like, no, you know what? No. Maybe next time. No.
Yeah, it's tough. Well, in saying this, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but so there were some people that came by, and I come to find out that they're Mormons and stuff like that. Like, but I didn't find out till after the fact that they're talking about me and everything. And I like talking to people about religion. I think it's an interesting conversation, and not to have a debate, but to have just a legitimate conversation. It's very hard, I think, to find someone that will have an actual conversation with you about religion, opposed to just trying to shove something down your throat, you know, or whatever. And these guys wanted to have a conversation, and I was like, oh, yeah, interesting. So they were like, can we come back later? I was like, yeah, sure. So they did, and I sat down with them at the table, and we went through all their stuff and everything. And then all this, well, do you want to come here? I was like, no, not really. I really just enjoyed the conversation. Like an hour long, and they leave, and my wife's like, you know they were Mormon, right? Like, I was like, yeah, I think so. I was like, they said some weird stuff, but, you know, again, not trying, like, it was interesting. So I kind of get what you're saying. Like, I just kind of was like, yeah, this could be fun. Come on in, guys. Let's get weird.
Come on, let's have a conversation. Oh, no.
I applaud the effort. If you give me a crappy, like, half-assed 50% sales pitch, you're not getting my money. But if you try really hard and your sales pitch just sucks, but you're trying really hard, and if I kind of maybe want it, I'm going to buy it just because you gave a good try. You know, you got to start somewhere.
I like it. So that means whenever I ask you to be on the show, it should be like a full-blown effort. Like, I should be showing up at your door, like, with a skirt on, like, all sexy.
No, that's Thursday's show.
Oh, that's Thursday's show, yeah. That's a different show entirely. So, obviously, we talked about it a little bit. You guys didn't make too many changes, going into Mountaineer Run. Obviously, what you did worked, and you know that. So, you're going to kind of stick with the plan, stick with the foods that you eat, stick with the regimen. How? I guess here's a question for that. I think a lot of racers can relate to. What is your kind of like your mental game when you're on the line and it's like that 2 minutes before they say 10 seconds? Like, kind of what's your thought process during that time?
Well, last weekend my thought process was, it is super dusty. You better get a good start, and that didn't work out.
So don't do that again.
Yeah, don't do that. And I don't know. We actually try to keep it pretty light. We don't take it too serious. We don't really talk to anybody. Like once we're at the track, I think some people get a little bit of a bad rap because they're not super approachable in the 10 minutes or 15 minutes before we start the race. And everybody respects each other, but it's kind of hard to say that when we're racing that anybody's friends. Up front, we're all there to do our job, and you just kind of stay to yourself a little bit, and Cookie and Danielle and Johnny, whatever, we just kind of keep it light amongst ourselves and joke around a little bit, or kind of just talk, kind of not even so much about the race, just about stuff in general, something we see in the crowd or the music or whatever, and just kind of keep it fun and try to be real relaxed going into the start, because then once the flag drops, it's kind of chaos for the first lap, 30 minutes.
Right on. Well, I know that you stayed on a little bit longer than normal, or probably most people want to be on the phone, so we appreciate you taking the time to do that. So good luck this coming up weekend. Would love to see you on the box again, especially the top step, being like, fuck yeah, I was on seat time, that's why I'm winning, bitch. Or you can change it up however you feel like it needs to be said, but something to that effect would be killer.
Yeah. I got some requests this week of if I get up there again on some people I got to shout out.
Oh, so, I bet.
Everybody's your friend when you're a winner.
You'll be like, oh, well, now that I'm up here for the second time, and you like bring this list out from your pants, you're like, well, you might want to just hand the mic over, buddy.
It's funny how that works. It's been this running joke between me and Chris Borich. Is like when Chris has a not so good weekend, I make sure I always call him, and it's been a joke because I'll call him and I'll say, hey, I don't really want to talk to you, but I'm calling you because you had a bad weekend and I know nobody else is calling you. And it's funny, like you win and your phone just blows up and everybody's super happy for you. And then, 2 weeks prior, I got 7th. I had 0 text messages and 0 missed calls. And then after the win, I had 150 some text messages and emails, and it's super hard to get back to everybody, and I appreciate it. It's just funny how that side of the sport kind of works,
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Everybody's like, congratulations, you had a kid, but something weird happens in your family, and everybody's like, congratulations on shit getting awkward. No, not really, but okay, thanks. No, yeah, it is. So that is also, not only am I going to show up at Chris Bach's house with a skirt on, but I'm also going to call him after every race.
Yeah.
And be like,
Good job.
Way to go. You hit that mud hole like a motherfucker, but that mud hole won. That mud hole won.
But you had 100% effort going into that mud hole.
I don't know if you noticed, but you did never get out. Awesome. Well, thanks a bunch, dude. Good luck this weekend, and we really appreciate you coming on the show, and hopefully we'll chat with you soon.
All right, man. I appreciate it, and thanks for having me on and supporting JCR Honda and off-road. And hopefully we get back on the box. We'll have a reason to call in again.
Or we'll just talk to you about fucking up in that mud hole.
There you go. That works.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right, bro. See you guys.
Peace.
See ya.
Awesome. Well, that was awesome. That was one of the things that I think I realized last time that we had Chris Bach on is that, and again, not that I've ever thought, oh, Chris Bach would be bad to have on. It's just like, didn't really know the guy very well. You know what I mean? Like, so I didn't know what it would be like or how it would go down. And the 2 times now that we've had him on the show, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Like he's been, you could tell that there's time. He's on the phone. And sometimes when you Skype, it's a little bit easier, I think, to kind of not realize how long things have gone.
Yeah.
But when you're kind of like talking on
Driving,
the phone, like holding, you're like, it's a little bit more awkward. And so it's a little bit more noticeable when you're talking to somebody for 20 minutes at that point. But yeah, no, it's been really good.
Yeah, he's super easy to talk to. Like, we get a lot of guests on that. All the guests are awesome, but some, you're kind of pulling answers out of them, and some people just are easy to talk to.
Yeah, like Grant Baylor. Not that I'm looking at you awkwardly, Grant Baylor, but holy moly. Jeez, I'm about to talk about pulling teeth. I love Grant Baylor, but he is, we were talking about a little bit earlier about Brad Bakken at the time, who we will be having on here shortly, is very quiet, kind of reserved. It's like I've never had Brad Bakken be quiet or reserved on the show. It's always just been good. Now he could screw that up tonight. I don't know. Right, but like Grant Baylor, like the first couple times, it's always like, come on.
It's like talking to Cooper.
Talk to me. Like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So, definitely quick before we talk to Mr. Brad Bakken, I wanted to say again, thank you very much to Fly Racing for being supportive of this show. You could definitely find out more about those guys at flyracing.com. It is getting hot, so if you need to, you should go to your dealer or flyracing.com and pick up some of the kinetic mesh gear.
Absolutely.
I believe we will be having some shortly, so that way if we do get a chance to ride this summer, we will be cool. And I don't know about your vagina, but my genitals feel really good when I wear that gear.
Remember a couple weeks ago when we talked about how you look at me and you kind of tone it down a little bit? What happened?
I guess I should have referred to it as your genitals and not directly to your vagina.
Holy cow.
But
so that was awkward. I will appreciate that fly gear.
I think I really need it now because this guy's getting tough to put up with.
It's really hot in here now.
So, of course, flyracing.com, Kenda Tires, huge supporters of Seat Time. We appreciate that. Supporters of other guests that we've had on this evening. We'll be able to talk about them here in a second. So, KendaTire.com, and big supporter of myself and the show, and a lot of other off-road racers out there, Stillwell Performance. So, if you haven't had a chance, definitely check out their website, stillwellperformance.com. And as I say, you don't have to buy anything. Just go ask them questions because Alan knows what the hell's up. I promise you, he is the salesman. And he is the guy that's going to be like, this is what you need to do your suspension. You're going to be like, just do it. I love you. Here you go. It'll be great.
Be like Chris Bach. Okay, good sales pitch, you're in.
Yeah, I will buy that from you. Thanks for the 100% effort. So, another 100% effort comes from the man that is now on Skype as we talk about genitals and things of awkward natures. But that is going to be Mr. Brad Bakken. So we have to ask, how is your evening going, kind sir?
No, it's going great. How about you guys?
Oh, man. So far, so good. So you were kind of in the background as a lot of that little discussion was going on. Did you have any idea where this discussion was headed?
No, I'm just staying out of all that mess.
Good call. Good call.
I haven't had a good vagina talk in a while, so, let's just get awkward.
I hear you.
Yeah, I know. As she says, those Thursday nights, man, they don't come soon enough. They don't come soon enough. Well, dude, I have to apologize to you live on Seat Time. It's been too long. I'm so sorry that we haven't got you on sooner this year. It's May, and I don't think you've been on once yet, have you?
No, I haven't. And it was last year or the year before, I was the most, Seat Time guest of the year. So what's up with that, man?
I know.
We should do an awards show.
Ooh. We should do an award show.
Sorry to steal that.
I was like, keep going, because I don't know where you're going with this.
He's the most guest on whatever.
It looked like she had this whole, mind speech that was just about to roll out, and she stopped. I was like, yes, we should.
Sorry, that was it. That was it. Anyways.
I like it. Let's talk about that afterwards.
Okay.
Or you could just keep on blurting out random things.
I'm going to need to think on it a little longer.
Oh, God. So, Mr. Brad Bakken, it has been a long time since we've had you on, unfortunately, but we're trying to make up for that because, holy crap, I was thinking about it. I was like, dude, Brad Bakken, he's like one of the coolest guys out there. They were talking about you a little bit because of the fact that they were kind of on their way out with the Yamaha team, just in the sense of when Cooper got hurt, when you were kind of on your way in there with Aaron Pro. So they knew about you for a little bit, how cool of a dude you were. Obviously at the time, you're still a cool guy. But your program's kind of changed a little bit. You've kind of gone from privateer to not private, to Am Pro, and then kind of like a halvesies. And now I think you're like Am Pro with a little bit of motorsport thrown in there in your web series. So to clear that up, just break down kind of like your what everything's working for you this year.
Yeah, this year it's still pretty similar to my program last year. But the only main difference is instead of NFAB being my title sponsor, Motorsport stepped up and is being my title sponsor. And I didn't necessarily have like the AmPro ride this year, but then Motorsport jumped up, and Brian Elliott and Rory from Motorsport kind of gathered a program up together and worked it all out. And I'm still on the team, so I'm pumped. But before that, Randy said he would put a program together for me, but Motorsport just brought it up to the same like factory status as I was last year with the whole NFAB deal.
Right on, right on. And so, how has that been doing the little web series? That's got to be pretty cool. A little different, I would think, from like your typical kind of team video. Filming with the motorsport guys, because those guys have been putting out some really good edits.
Oh yeah. When I heard like we're gonna be working with Motorsport and everything, that was like one of the first things that popped in my head was like, man, does this mean that I get a web series? Because that would be awesome. Because that's like one of the main like places I go to on YouTube is look up Motorsport and watch all of their web series. And I watched all of Caleb's stuff last year and watched the Albertson project and all that cool stuff. So it's really fun working towards that. And actually, Rob Mitchell filmed my first episode, and I think it turned out great. We're like all in with that, and Rob's all about it. So I'm pumped. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, wicked. That's neat. So Rob was actually able to film your first episode. Has it been different since then? Who else has been stepping in there?
I haven't really started filming my second one.
Okay.
I know Rob has just like clips and stuff from the Sprint Enduro up in West Virginia the other weekend, but we have some things in the works. I think Rob's going to come up and actually spend like a whole day with me at work and just like do what I do every day and kind of show everyone my actual life when I'm not at the races. So
your day job.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm pretty excited about that. It should be pretty cool to put a little perspective out there. So it should be cool.
I agree. It's like you guys did a lot of that too. Day working and weekend racing and stuff. And I noticed Desiree has posted some good stuff about you washing your bike out there after a long day of working and everything. So, break it down a little bit for us. What's that like? Like, what is your day job, and kind of when does your day start? When does your day end? So everybody can start to get a little bit of that perspective.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of convenient because I work for Desiree's dad.
Hey.
So,
as long as you're not rolling out of his daughter's bed to go to work, it's probably okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I hear you. But no, he owns a construction company, so I go to work every morning at 6:45, and I work till 5:36 every night. And I got my CDL, so I drive a dump truck, or I run a piece of equipment, or I just run a rake or a shovel. So it's a long day, but no, it's good. I mean, it's getting me ready for life after racing. So it's good.
No, I hear that. Well, you got any good things about Mr. Bakken?
I don't know.
Come on, look at you. She's all flustered now because of the genitals conversation. Cooper's totally over it. Look at him. He's fine. Look, don't worry about him.
I'm not worried about anybody.
So, dude, let's talk a little bit about the National Enduros, because it seems like that's your focus for this year. Is that correct? Is still the National Enduros?
Oh, yeah, 100%. That's my main focus.
Yeah.
But with Enduros this year, I mean, it's had its ups and downs, but like the first race, I came out swinging, I feel, and I ended up on the podium and getting third overall. So that was convenient.
Yeah.
So did that, and then the following race, and also in South Carolina, I ended up fifth overall, which wasn't bad. And then after that, it's not been the greatest.
Right.
But I got 11th overall in Tennessee. It was just nasty, muddy, slick, and actually I was doing decent. I was like 6th, 7th, somewhere around there. And then in the 5th test, I got stuck real bad in just one nasty rut. And I went to pick up my bike I picked up the rear tire and my foot slid into the rut underneath my tire. My bike fell on top of me. So I was literally just laying there until like a lapper guy came up and picked my bike up off top of me. And
Oh, that sucks.
yeah, so that was awesome. And so I lost like 3.5 minutes in one test. So I ended up finishing 11th overall in that race, which I wasn't pumped about, but it's all good. And then Missouri was this past weekend, and I like Missouri a lot. I did pretty well last year, but again, it just poured down rain like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like the first 3 tests on Sunday, and I just kind of struggled with those conditions. I'm not the best mud rider.
Right.
So I just kind of try to stay consistent all day, and consistent for me out there was around 10th, and I ended up 10th. So
yeah,
it's all good.
Yeah, I was looking at your results, and I was kind of seeing the same thing, that 3rd to 5th, kind of 11th to 10th, and obviously Texas unfortunately being canceled, so it was kind of a big break there. What do you think is kind of it's caused the inconsistency? Do you think that there's well, I don't know. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on like maybe why there's a little bit of inconsistency in your results?
Yeah. Honestly, I think if you look at my results like through the years, I'm never like really great at places that don't have really good traction.
Mm-hmm.
Like say Texas, I'm usually not strongest because it doesn't have great traction, and like Wyoming and place like that. And with Tennessee and Missouri being really muddy, it's just slick, and it's honestly just not one of my strong points. So I just struggle on that. And like the first 2 races are the complete opposite. You have as much traction as you need with South Carolina. And I don't know. I mean, I've done well at both those races, so
yeah.
I don't really know. But I don't know. Just try to get better from here. Wyoming's the next race, so hopefully.
Is that going to be a drive for you? Are you flying out? How does that going to work out?
Oh, it's actually pretty cool. Me or Ryan Ballou and myself are gonna drive out there actually like a week and a half before, and go up to Montana and
that's right. You guys are doing a race with like Brian Elliott and the crew, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
What race is that? What cross country race? I think.
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I forgot too.
And Brian just said, he was like, "This is the most badass race in Montana, so you have to come to it." So I was like, "All right, we can do that." So yeah, so we're doing that, and then just gonna go ride out in the mountains and stuff in Montana for the week, and then do the race in Wyoming. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, that'd be fun. No, yeah, he told me completely about that race, and now I can't remember. It's probably some kind of like, got some like Mantan name to it or something like that.
Yeah, Big Sky.
It's like the wilderness out there.
Apparently, he said it's even more like the track is more fun than Big Sky's track, and I find that hard to believe because I thought Big Sky was epic, and I was hungover like a mother, and I still enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, I saw you out there.
You're like, what is that? Oh, that's Woody because his head's like halfway up. Oh. Oh, it was interesting. So when you say you saw me, does that mean you saw me at the bar, or did you see me? Because I think I left the bar, went to sleep for an hour, and then raced. So yeah, it was pretty close.
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty close. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you.
You're
like pretty timeline.
Yeah, that's about right. So actually, and Rob jumped in the chat room, and he's been asking some good questions. One of the other ones he was asking was, why are the GNCCs your favorite series to run?
Rob's an ass. Actually, they're not my favorite series, but if they're on a list of 100, they would be somewhere in there.
Somewhere in the 100.
So I guess we could the fact that he's racing the National Enduro Series only can really open some doors for us to think through. He's probably doing the series he wants to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So that means, though, I mean, Texas racing's not great, but that would be then probably in like your top 10. And JCC's like 100.
Solid. Yeah, there's 10 enduros for the year, so it's definitely in the top 10.
That's awesome.
I like it. Well, yeah, man, I was really disappointed with that Texas Enduro getting canceled. We were all
know.
stoked. We were on the same rows and everything. Like, we were going to be, kicking butt out. Well, we probably were going to get our butts kicked.
Relatively
butt kicking. But yeah, it's luckily enough you guys had the Missouri race because it sounds like they were getting a ton of rain too. Maybe it just held up better.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely slick and muddy, but luckily the ground could soak it up, so it wasn't too bad. So
Yeah, Texas was kind of just one big pond.
yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is it wasn't like, yeah, I mean like trails became creeks.
Yeah, it was
Not
very
like,
nasty
oh look,
looking.
there's a lot of water, like feet of water on the trails.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense. I don't know what happened to all the cows around the property.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That could get interesting.
They're out
Yeah,
there
luckily-
floating somewhere.
Yeah, luckily I wasn't driving out to that one. I was flying that Friday afternoon. So when I woke up, I was like, oh, thank goodness I didn't start driving out there.
Yeah,
I know
that
a
would have sucked.
lot of people that drew, like, my buddy Patty Holloway.
Yep.
He was about 2 hours from the race.
Oh my god.
And he had driven like 18 hours. And I called him in the morning and he was like, are you kidding me?
Oh man.
No. Yeah, I think Stu Baylor was already on the way, and he went and rode with Morgan Moss and them over in Louisiana. Jubal Brown, they were already on the way, so they just turned around and went back north to Oklahoma, and they found a really awesome sandy place, and a lot of rain, sand.
That'll
just
work.
gets epic, and so they've had some bitchin' stuff on their little excellent
I saw
adventure
that.
website.
That was videos.
So that was cool that they found it. So I mean, it's kind of like, what is it, making lemonade from lemons?
Yeah.
It's like, well, this sucks, but it's like if we went to Munster, we could have just ridden all the sand.
It would have been
And it
awesome.
would have been epic.
Yeah.
So I mean, we still would have floated around, but hey,
It made it work.
wave runners,
Yes.
wave runners,
Next
jet
time.
skis. I like it. Well, so we got it is Wyoming that's coming up, and our good friend Eric Kudla is actually going to be at that race. So is there any way that you could, do an interview with him, like for seat time, like while you're at the race, and we could like post it?
Oh, yeah. I'll do anything for you, Brian. I'm here for you, man.
Yay! That's so nice. I like you, Brad. That's what I'm talking about. Ooh, what bike are you riding at the National Enduros? Are you on an FX?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
FX all the way.
All right.
Jealousy is through the roof.
Yeah, let's talk about this bike now. Okay, when did you get to ride the FX for the first time?
I got it the Tuesday before Sumter Enduro.
Holy shit. Okay, so very little amount of time on the bike, right?
Yes.
What did you as a professional racer do to that bike for that first, you're like 2 days? Crap. Now I'm going to make these changes and then go race it.
I threw on my suspension from my race bike last year. I threw on a FMF like exhaust system, threw on pretty much just all like skid plates, Unibiker skid plates, all of that good stuff, and Pro Taper bars, all of like my necessary stuff. But really performance-wise, just my factory connection suspension and FMF pipe and silencer and some Kenda tires, and then raced it. So honestly, just pretty much suspension and exhaust system, and raced it at the Enduro and got third overall. So I was pretty pumped.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So then you race it, you get third. Obviously, you do really well on the bike. Do you go, okay, I want to try to adjust some things, or do you kind of stick with a lot of it stock, engine-wise?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's pretty much the exact same as it was at Sumter. I have like all the Recluse clutch, manual components and the torque drive in there, but motor wise it's 100% stock. I haven't checked the valves, and has the same clutches from the first race. So it's pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no. When we got a chance to ride it, we really, really enjoyed it. And it's interesting. So we were talking about in our video that we did that first and second gear for us, where we were riding, were close to unusable in the sense of trying to go fast. Now, and then we actually just recently had a comment pop up on the video, which has gotten over like 11,000 views. All this, like, I mean, like that video is like the one that's like, good job on us. It was like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like, I live in Colorado and we have all, it's great and all the technical trails. And I immediately went, yep, that guy's absolutely right. Because, and then when I thought about it, I was like, one of the things we didn't mention or really hone in on is the type of terrain that we were riding in to then we would think that those gears would be useless. And I replied back, I was like, we didn't have any rocks, we didn't have any elevation, we didn't really have any tight technical trail. It's like I could see that bike, the way it was geared then, being a lot better than what it was for us because of the fact that we were kind of looking at it more cross-country race-wise opposed to possibly going out and riding in Colorado, which would be totally epic. So, having said all that, kind of what were your thoughts on maybe first and second gear and kind of the different types of terrain that you have now ridden the bike in?
And did you change the gearing?
Ooh. And did you change the gearing?
No, it's 100% stock gearing. And it actually, I feel like it helped me for my riding style because I'm kind of a lugger, and it's kind of weird for a 250F to be a lugger, but I always shift up a gear. And with that thing, with the different transmission in the FX, shifting up a gear actually put it almost in a better spot for me than the YZ. So it's been good for me. And with like sandy conditions in South Carolina, and I actually raced the first 4 or 5 GNCCs, and I didn't have any issues, and I still ran stock gearing. So I love the bike. I haven't changed anything, like I said, but coming for me, it's a little hard because I feel like I can kind of ride anything and I like it. I'm pretty easy, but I really do like the bike a lot. And you can't beat a bike with electric start. It's pretty nice.
For sure.
Says the short girl over here who hates kicking bikes.
Yes, absolutely. Who's lost races due to kicking bikes.
Yeah. The one thing that Jason Rains and myself were talking about, and I think Jordan was in on this conversation too, was that it felt like it took forever to kind of like rev up, and Rains, kind of attributed that to it having such a heavy flywheel. And one of the things that he pointed out as we're talking about this, he goes, look at the flywheel in the KTM, which looks literally like it's like 3 inches in diameter. And then he's like, look at the Yamaha, and it looked like, it was probably almost twice as big. Obviously we're talking about the case sizing, not the physical flywheel, but obviously it fits in that case. So it's kind of that's physics for you. So I was like, so I've been talking with Jason behind the scenes about that. I was like, kind of like, what do you think about, if we got one of these flywheels and kind of milled it down a little bit, or got somebody to machine, a little bit lighter one? That's something that I would love to see, because I think that bike, I think maybe that's why I kind of took to first and second gear the way that I did in the terrain that we were in, because it was kind of like you couldn't, like, there was no like kind of brapping it, like for like quick blipping. And that was what I was kind of looking for, and that's probably just because I've been riding, a 2-stroke for so long recently. But that, I think if you kind of thinned out the flywheel a little bit, or put a little bit lighter flywheel on, you might be able to get some of that without losing all the awesome characteristics that the engine does have. And I'm not trying to say that we'd be taking anything that engine is horrible by any means. Like, it's awesome. It's just kind of like trying to fine tune it a little bit for what I guess I said what I'd be looking for if I was like, nitpicking.
Yeah.
You should be in first and second gear anyways, man. You gotta shift that thing up.
See, there it is.
Should have known.
Sorry
Dang
for sucking. Sorry for sucking. Maybe we should have just had you out there with us and been like, guys, this is actually how you ride the bike?
Yeah. Come on now.
Check this shit out. Yeah, Eric said that they clocked it at 89.1 miles an hour on a dry lake bed stock.
Holy cow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that thing can rip. There's a section out in Wyoming this weekend, and like some of my buddies, I knew there was like a long, like fast sand straightaway in one of the tests, and they're on a 450, and they revved it out and said they were holding it as pinned as fast as they could go, and it was just hitting the rev limiter. And I was like, I didn't do that on my 250F. Pull and pull and pull and pull, and I didn't want to go any faster. So
yeah,
no, that thing is definitely really good top speed too. So
yep, I think that they did a fantastic job for what they were trying to do. I mean, obviously, I've always enjoyed the Yamaha bikes I've had. They've always been bulletproof, unless you fuck with them, and then they screw up because you fucked with them. And then, but yeah, it's like, so I was super excited to see that bike come on. I'm so glad they did it to kind of that pinpoint that XC market. I love my KTMs, but I just feel like everybody else has been kind of ignorant for not kind of taking advantage of that market, because obviously KTM noticed there was a niche there, and they like just drove a Mack truck through it, and nobody else could get bikes there because everybody was like, well, I ride cross country, I need an XC bike. I'm gonna go buy buy this. And KTM's are great at it, and that's why I ride one. But this Yamaha was epic.
Epic.
Oh yeah.
So like, who gets your old one? Jordan's looking for one pretty soon.
Actually, I'm getting rid of one of mine. Probably before or right after I go out to Wyoming and stuff. So hit up Randy. I'm sure he'll hook you up.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. We'll get hit touch with Randy and Keith
them,
Obermeyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. That'd be some good times.
That'd be awesome.
Now, that'd be fun to have an FX around to be able to play with all the time.
I didn't say you could ride it.
Oh, right.
I'm just kidding.
If Cooper gets to ride it, I get to ride it.
That's true. I mean,
no, because you guys would have paid for it, so you guys get to actually set the rules.
That's true. I'd let you ride it. I'd let you ride it. I'm a generous person.
Now go slow. Okay.
Only first gear, though.
Yeah, only first gear. Damn it, I don't want to ride it in first gear. Okay, so Wyoming, you doing local races and stuff like that to get a little bit of extra Skrilla?
I actually haven't done any Virginia races this year.
Oh,
yeah, so that kind of sucks. Because I like overall the series last year, so I haven't been able to run the number one plate yet. But hopefully, sometime throughout the year, I'll be able to. But I've done the first two sprint enduros, and they're a blast. Love doing those things. I stayed with Russell Bobbitt at the last one. So it was a good time hanging out with him and just being able to walk the track with him and just kind of go through the motions. So, no, I really enjoy doing those, and I'm going to do the last three of those. So pumped about that. Should be a good time.
Very cool. Yeah, when Steven and I did the KR4 thing at Big Buck last year for the GNCCs, we were super stoked on that. And now we know that KR4 has been going to the Sprint Enduros this year. Now, I don't know if they have their rental program like they did for GNCCs, but that's kind of what I'm hoping, is that I can either find a way to make it to one of the Sprint Enduros and do like the KR4 thing again, or at least like Ironman or something.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the year. See if I can actually like man up and finish a 2-hour race.
Good luck. I think that the Sprint Enduro is a plan. I want to go if you go.
It looks fun, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I know. I wish the timing would have worked out better and we could have made it to that round 2. Brian Story and Travis Christ went, and they had a blast. Brian was on. That's who was on 2 weeks ago. That's what we did. We talked about all the Sprint Enduro stuff. So Brian Story was there, and they had a blast. And yeah, I'm jealous that wasn't one that we could have gone to one day. One day. I don't think we have to. There's not. They're all far for us.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Oh, TKO. Are you going to be at TKO?
I'm not positive yet. It's definitely a good chance to go out there for all the Kenda guys and put my name out there. I went there like 2 or 3 years ago now, and that race just beat you up. So we'll see. I would like to. I enjoyed it the first time. It was definitely an experience. So So possibly.
Nice. Yeah, we'll be there. I did it last year, and I missed making it into the afternoon qualifying by like 30 seconds or something. Like
something ridiculous.
Something ridiculous.
Kick
where
yourself
you're like,
over.
you come through and you're like, I think I made it. Man, sweet. I think I made it. And then you see the paper and you're like, I didn't make it. I was just like, no. But I got a lot of great pictures. I had a lot of fun. You know, we put the photo epic out there. That was the first time we got a chance to do that on the site. So now that's the plan again. Is like I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to do the 2-hour race in the beginning, just to go out there and have fun. And if I make it, cool, into the afternoon. If I don't, then I'll just whip out the camera and start taking pictures and video. And we'll put together some epic stuff from seat time and just have fun with it. So.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll be a good time. So if you are gonna come, let us know, because if you don't want to race but just want to come hang out, we could have you do like seat time stuff in the pits, and we could get really goofy.
Yeah, that would be a blast.
I like that.
That could be part of my web series with motorsport.
I like it.
Do
I like it.
something.
So then what you're saying is then seat time would be a part of your motorsport web series.
I think that's what I heard.
That's what I heard.
I think I'm in. I mean, yeah, that sounds like a win-win.
Yeah.
You get some seat time, and seat time gets some Bakken.
There you go.
I like it. Oh, don't cry because your hands. Oh, shut up, Eric Kudla. Oh, my gosh. Oh, and Eric Kudla did say that he just sent you a friend request on Facebook, and he put in bold, accept, and each of those had exclamation points. So apparently Eric Kudla would enjoy it if you would accept his friend request once we're done here, I guess.
All right, I'm accepting them right now, actually.
Live on the show, friend request accepted. Cha-ching. Nice. Well, all right, dude. Well, we really appreciate it. I guess the last question is so is there going to be like finally a proposal on seat time in the near future?
On seat time.
On seat time, I don't know.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
We've almost had 2, and then everybody thought better of it.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I know. What I always think is you guys could fake it. Like, listen.
Do the real thing and then come on.
Do the
before
real
you
thing,
make
but
any
don't
real
tell
announcement.
anybody, and
Yeah.
then come on seat time as if it's the real deal.
And it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, definitely. It should be coming up soon. I mean, we've been dating for almost 6 years, so it's about time. But I mean, you don't want to rush into those things, you know.
When you start hitting the 12-year mark, that's when you're probably waiting too long.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, we had quite a discussion. We were texting back and forth, and he was trying to win me over on that. He's waiting because he's smart about it.
Oh, yeah.
No, waiting because you're smart about it's like 2 or 3 years in. Now you're just prolonging the inevitable.
Yeah.
Or you're giving her a chance to walk away.
Lock it down. Lock it down.
Nobody needs that. You do work for her dad. That would just be awkward.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all good. She feels the same way, so. Well, at least I think she feels the same way.
What are we learning here on Seat Time tonight? I like it. Oh, let's see. Any future plans to try and qualify for the ISDE?
I actually would definitely like to. I was chosen for the junior team in 2011 to go to Finland, and I jacked my wrist up about a month before and couldn't go. So I would definitely like to just kind of see what happens. I know it's a big commitment, so just kind of make sure everything's in the right place and try to do it. I mean, I would love to do it, so maybe in the future I'd like to.
Nice. Well, now you know that most likely the full gas sprint enduro is going to be an ISDE qualifier next year, so practice up on those sprint enduro skills.
Yeah, definitely. Anything with enduro, the name, game.
You're in. I like it. Well, heck yeah, man. Well, thank you for coming on the show. As I said before, sorry that it took us so long to get you on. That's, nobody's fault but my own, just trying to do too many things, as Steven can attest that I'm an idiot, so it's just kind of the way it works these days. But appreciate you coming on. Congrats on everything going good for you, at least this year, with the motorsport deal and the web series. I think that's pretty cool. It's a whole new niche to kind of have going for, especially for an enduro rider. I think is pretty neat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. I can't say anything bad about those guys. It's been great all season. So pretty happy to be the first enduro guy to have their own web series. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been fun like always. So hopefully I see you soon.
No, for sure, man. Yeah, we'll definitely have to do this more than just once a year, so it'll happen. Don't worry. Well, we appreciate it. You have fun out there. Good luck in Wyoming and at this unknown cross-country race in Montana. Don't feed the bears, I guess. No, we'll chat with you soon.
Sounds good.
Later, man.
See ya.
Yeah.
Peace. Awesome. Yeah, no, it's always fun having Mr. Brad Bakken on, and it does suck that I hadn't had him on earlier. It's just one of those things you kind of get into the groove. You start talking. You start kind of following the results more than you do like really paying attention to the scene, and that's kind of what happens. You just you know what I mean, like, and so you just kind of make their decisions. They're not good, bad, or indifferent. They're just decisions. So, one of the things that did happen at the Lead Belt National Enduro was we saw Caleb Russell was no longer the bridesmaid. And he got his first National Enduro win after finishing second or runner-up at all the other rounds, the 3 rounds prior. So we know Caleb Russell knows how to win. Like, he's obviously an extremely fast gentleman on a dirt bike. And for the longest time, he was trying to figure out what it took to get that National Enduro win. He was just having little things happen here and there. So when they go to Wyoming, and the series continues throughout the rest of the year, is this now like that ticking time bomb for Caleb Russell? Is he just like...
Now he's got the one.
Now
he's just going to keep going.
Yeah, it's like he's figured out whatever it was that he was having trouble with.
There's a pretty good chance.
Day.
I mean, his GNCC results kind of
speak for
show
themselves.
that, yeah. So
it'd be interesting. Yeah, to think that like the GNCCs right now, yes, Bach got a win, and as he said, super stoked. It can be done. Caleb Russell is human. He can be beaten. But now he's got to do it again to validate that it's not a fluke to himself, all that kinds of stuff. Like, not that it's a fluke. Exactly all the things that he was mentioning earlier. Could it wind up being possibly the same thing in the National Enduros now, where it's like, Caleb Russell could totally just come screaming out of the gate now that he's kind of got that
He got it figured out. He got the drive now. He knows he can do it at the National Enduros too. Confidence is key.
Yep. But we're going to be going to the West Coast for Wyoming. Caleb Russell has done, races around the world, races on different parts of the country. But, he's an East Coast guy. So our other guy is going to do a little bit better than him, Wyoming. There's most likely. There's a good chance that there's going to be better, Wyoming riders out there than Caleb Russell. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of goes.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
When is that race?
Wyoming's like 2 or 3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks. They have big breaks between.
Oh, we just got told that Indiana full gas sprint enduro is only about an hour from somebody in the chat room.
And well, that's cool.
No, I think that's an invite.
Oh, were you going to stay at their house and they're going to take us there?
No, man, we just made that an invite.
Okay.
No, Malakote invited us up to stay at his place for Ironman because he lives really close to Ironman and stuff like that. So, guess if we could ever figure it out.
Yeah, we'd have to get the dollar bills to get there.
What do you... How am I going to have... Little Bears?
Huh?
Am I going with Little Bears?
I don't know what you're going to do, but I'm not.
You said dollar bills. It's like, when you talk about dollar bills, I was like, why do I have to earn them $1 bill at a time?
True.
Can I, like, do things for multiple bills at a time?
I guess.
Giving out handies and shit and getting all calloused up just for $1 bill? Jeez, man. You're ruining my life. Why you gotta make it so awkward?
It's Thursday night show.
I like it. That is an invite.
Good to know, because we made it one.
All right, so we got an invite. Now all we got to do is find somebody to get us out there.
Yeah. All right, we're looking for sponsors.
Yeah, sponsors. So we needed sponsors for the show. We need
sponsors to get places.
No. And speaking of sponsors, obviously we're huge thankful for Fly Racing. Fly Racing does a fantastic job, not just supporting us, but supporting the sport. Did you see their commercial that they put out,
yes.
Ride Life? That's awesome.
That was awesome.
It's such a different take on what you see where companies are trying to like throw stuff at you because they're so cool or, this bitchin' design, stuff like that. Like, it's just a total 180 from what we've been seeing a lot lately.
Yeah.
So, loved it. If you haven't go seen it, flyracing.com. You can see the new commercial, or I would imagine it's going to run again at Glen Helen this weekend as the Pro Motocross is going to be on NBC. Of course, Kenda Tire. So, kendatire.com is where you can go and check that out. Now, if a lot of the guys that listen to the show, they're off-road enthusiasts. Now, Kenda Tire definitely makes a tire that's going to be great for you. I've heard a lot of people say, quality. It's like, no. Kenda has done they've put a lot of money into their research and development, and they're coming out with some great off-road tires, and they're coming out with a lot of cool hybrid tires, like between the Trials tires and a lot of the other enduro kind of specific sticky rubber type stuff that you're not seeing by any other manufacturers. So learn a little bit more about those hybrid tires. Go to kendatire.com, check them out. Again, local dealer, you can pick a lot of that stuff up. So, and then Stillwell Performance is stillwellperformance.com. Off-road suspension. If you're riding a KTM or a Husky and you've got 4CS and you're like, holy crap, there's just something wrong. It feels weird. My hands are numb. You want to call or email or reach out to Stillwell Performance. Alan Stillwell there, and their crew can get you hooked up. I am raring to go to test out my new 4CS done up by Stillwell Performance to see how that's going to rock and roll with my 180-pound body weight. Somebody saw a picture of me on Facebook. I did, Time Hop. Time Hop's fun. You get to see all those.
I've seen
There's
this
a
photo.
picture of me from 6 years ago, and there's a picture of me now, and somebody goes, man, you look beefier. And I go, I think it's called fat.
That was kind of them to try to not make it.
I know.
Like
I was
that.
like, now
Beefier though. That's not.
I will say that yes, like if like I've been working out a lot, and I could tell like I'm
beefier.
But at the same time, I'm also not thin.
But I saw the picture from 6 years ago too, and I went, dang, you look like a little twig, like too skinny almost. Yeah. So I don't know.
I was. A lot of bicycling.
Yeah.
A lot of bicycling. I just like riding my mountain bike.
Yeah.
Well,
Now
I got more for the wife to hold on to. I think it's pushing for the cushion. No.
Let's cut.
And we're out. Peace. So, thank you very much to Fly Racing. Thank you very much to Kenda Tire. Thank you very much to Stillwell Performance. Thank you very much, Jordan Bailey, for being on the show again. We appreciate it when you can make it over. You're done with school.
I am.
So, any riding in the near future?
In July.
Yep, in July. Oh, thank you very much. We didn't bring this up like we were supposed to in the middle of the show. So for those of you out there who like going out and doing new, fun, and different things, we're kind of putting together that ride for you. Sea Time is definitely about having a good time, bench racing, and having fun with different kind of shenanigans involved. And we're bringing that to all of the fans out there. So you can go to adventures.seattime.co to learn more about the ride that we're going to be putting on this summer. We'll be in Crested Butte, Colorado. Very, very limited spots on the website. Spots are available. On the website, you can find out a lot of information. There is a way to sign up for the newsletter, so when we do put out more news, you will be contacted about it. Or there's ways to contact us to ask questions about it. So if you're interested in kind of to all the fun and all the goofiness that you can find on Seat Time, if you're looking to have that in person with us and with all of our friends. With dirt bikes. We'll be doing awesome mileage on single track on technical trails in Colorado. Please head to adventures.seattime.co and check that out. We've had quite a few riders be very interested. We've had a couple already buy positions in. So look around, use the hashtag SeatTimeAdventures, and you'll definitely see some of the riders that are going to be coming. So appreciate you guys. Yeah, you looking forward to it?
I am. It'll be awesome.
I haven't ridden in Colorado in a long, long time.
It's been like 5 years for us, 4 or 5. So yeah, we used to go a lot, but yeah,
it's going to
be awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. And Steven's dad there's possibly going to be coming, bringing some UTVs.
Oh,
we are going to have a chase crew. We're working on riding medics. They're going to be out there hanging out with us and everything. So we're going to be totally connected, trying to make this a safe, fun environment for everybody that comes. For a while there, we were talking really about trying to get A and B riders only. But as we talk to more people, there's just people that are really interested in doing this ride that aren't at that level yet. So we are toying with that idea. So if you have questions, if you think, oh, maybe I don't know, use the contact form, reach out, and we can talk to you about what we plan on doing and letting yous know.
Yeah. What he said.
Letting yous know. So adventures.seattime.co. Check it out. Let me know what you think. And thank you very much for tuning in. Episode 166. We will be back next week, right, Steven? You don't have anything family-wise?
Not that I know of.
All right. I know your May's crazy, so we just got to check while we can. Guess we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
All right. I like it. Cooper, quiet as always.
He's really good at running the show back there.
Yeah, he keeps us in line.
He does.
He's like, guys,
getting out of control over there.
Awesome. Thank you very much for paying attention to Seat Time. This is the online show for the off-road enthusiasts, brought to you by Fly Racing. We will see you next week.
See ya.
Peace.